I want to tell you a story about how my mom and dad met. It's a really interesting story. A long time ago, my dad was around 26 years old and my mom was 29. My dad went over to his best friend's house, and his best friend's house was best friends with my mom. So we went over to his house and we looked through an institution yearbook, and we looked through the pictures, and we spotted this really pretty girl, and we said, "Who's that?" Her name is Josette. That's my mom. And he asked, "Who is that?" And we explained who she was, and then he remembered the name. Said, "Where?" And then he's like, "Where does she live?" And then he said, "They live in Ventura," but there was no address or city. So the next day, guess what? He went off in about an hour and a half drive and arrived in this big city called Ventura. Wow. There was still no address. They didn't know what to do. Back then they had a phone booth, and when you go in the phone booth, they have a phone book. So he went through the phone book and he looked up the last name Clovis, and he said, "Wow, there's so many names." So he kept flipping through the pages. There's so many names. He didn't know the name. He didn't know, oh, okay, well, anyways, he ripped out all of the Collins names. He ripped them out. He went back in his car, and then he decided the first one, he's going to go to every single house. Can you imagine? Wow, so we went to the first one, the first address. They have a map. He opened it, and nowadays they have GPS. But back then they had a map. So he opened the map, he looked at the map, and he was trying to find out where to go. So he was driving around. He found the house that matches the address. And then he'd go up and knock on the door, and the door would open. And there was an old woman, and she was talking, and he's like, "Hold on, I'm deaf." And so he said, "Hold on." He called my mom, and she came to the door, started signing. And my dad was speechless. He's like, "Wow, I got lucky. The first one out of all of the names in the phone book." So my mom's dad's name's what? Adrian. The first A in the book. Well, maybe it could have been John. Would my dad still have continued to look? So it was really surprising. Well, anyways, they met, and they started dating. Everything was going good. They kept dating. Things were progressing. Around 3 months later, they got engaged. And then about 6 months later, they got married. The wedding was 10 months into their relationship. They've been married ever since for 56 years.